On October 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union launched the satellite Sputnik, which became the first artificial satellite. Less than a month later, the Soviet Union launched the Sputnik 2. This spacecraft carried the first living thing into orbit, a dog named Laika. In response to the Soviets' new space program, the United States created a National Aeronautical and Space Administration on July 29, 1958. On May 25, 1961, President John F. Kennedy announced before Congress his goal of sending an American safely to the moon before the end of the decade. This launched a massive effort to catch up to the Soviet Union. Work began on the Mercury project with the goal of getting a man into orbit before the Soviet Union. On April 12, 1961, the Soviet Union launched the first man into space, Yuri Gagarin. In October 1968, Apollo 7, the first manned Apollo mission, orbited the Earth and successfully tested many of the sophisticated systems needed to conduct a moon journey and landing. Some of these systems include the gyroscopic navigation system, the guidance computer, and the life support systems. At 9:32 a.m. Eastern Time on July 16th, with the world watching, Apollo 11 took off from the Kennedy Space Center with astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins aboard. Armstrong was the commander of the mission. After traveling 240,000 miles in 76 hours, Apollo 11 entered into a lunar orbit on July 19th. The Eagle began its descent on the lunar surface, and at 4:17 p.m., the craft touched down on the moon. Soon after the Apollo program ended, NASA began designing a space shuttle. Its intended purpose was to carry crews into space and construct a space station. The Soviets were designing their own spacecraft, the Soyuz capsule. The shuttles had 135 total launches. On January 28, 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger broke up over the Atlantic Ocean 73 seconds into its flight. The space shuttles allowed the International Space Station to be constructed.